do you make of these numbers from Salesforce, the cloud software titan that's betting big on AI with Agentics? After the close, the company reported a strong top and bottom line beat. Management also raising their full-year forecast. But there's always a lot going on under the hood on this one. Let's check in with Marc Benioff. He's the co-founder, chairman, CEO of Salesforce. Mr. Benioff, welcome back to Mad Money. Marc, welcome back to the show. You've done a remarkable quarter here with just a tremendous raise in the fabulous guidance. So tell me, what were the drivers that made it so that you could take numbers up so big?
Well, Jim, it just was an incredible quarter, and you're right, we are raising guidance by $400 million. That means we're going to do over $41 billion this year in revenue, Jim. Pretty awesome for Salesforce. We're so proud of our team here. And I'll tell you, a lot of it has to do with the customer success that we're seeing. And we've got some great stories about the quarter.
It does seem like a lot of people have been saying, all right, well, when is Agentix going to really be in the numbers? When is it going to matter? To me, this quarter looks like an Agentix quarter, and that the other things that you have, let's call it old Salesforce just for a second, all augment each other. It's not like different silos. Am I right?
Oh, Jim, you really understand what's going on with Salesforce. We have so many exciting things happening, especially with Agentforce. As you know, every company can now transform themselves with AI. I mean, this is really what AI was meant to be. And you look at a huge deal in the quarter was with Pepsi. Now, Jim, you know Pepsi very well, and their CEO, Ramon, he's incredible. He's a good friend of mine. And now they're using 11 of our clouds, and now led by Agentforce and our data cloud, to really transform transform Pepsi. And that means that they can really bring together their snack business, their beverage business, all as one customer information system. And that idea that it's all then interfaced directly with our agents and Agentforce, that's just an awesome vision and dream.
Who is talking to? Look, I know Ramon well. I'm trying to figure out at what point, what stage does the customer get involved? It's obviously not the retail customer. Is it the retailers worldwide? Because PepsiCo is a worldwide retailer.
Jim, this is everywhere, everything from order placement to inventory checks to even consumers being able to kind of learn and interact with the product.
So you're talking about the Freetolay division, the Freetolay division, which sends a truck every minute to another store. You're in on that.
Yeah. Jim, this is Pepsi, this is Lay's, this is Doritos. This is going to be every part of the company. This is going to be about creating one Pepsi. And that's one thing I'm really excited about what's going on.
All right, now let's talk about what would happen if you happen to have Informatica layered on. I like metadata because I like indices. I like to be able to look at data and make decisions. What would Informatica do right now for Ramon LaGuarta at PepsiCo?
Well, Jim, as we said, this is all about AI. It's about Agentforce. It's about our data cloud. But if our customers don't have their data together, it makes it a little bit more of a challenge for them. So you have to have the data. It's not like consumer AI. Consumer AI, you've already got all the data put together. For enterprise AI, they have to put their own data together. And that means they have to understand their data lineage. They have to have a master data management. They have to be able to have all the connectivity and the homogenization of their data. And ultimately, their data has to be in a harmony. And that's what Informatica does with Salesforce. That's why we're so excited to announce just yesterday the acquisition of Salesforce, buying Informatica for $8 billion. This is really exciting.
All right, so last year there was a dalliance, didn't happen. What made it happen this year, and why do you need it, given the fact that you have a lot of smart guys, you said it yourself, whom I thought could have developed a very similar metadata approach without Informatica?
We're very disciplined, Jim, in our acquisition strategy. As you know, it had to be accretive. It has to be non-dilutive. It has to make sense for our customers. It has to make sense for our investors. And everything really lined up this year. We love the company. I mean, I've been working with the company, Jim, since 2006.
I know. You made me sit down with them. They're smart guys.
I've always loved.
They're smart guys. They knew about this. They understand banking, and you need some more banking. Do you think that they will be able to get you to be in the door to do the other side? Right now, you do a lot of banks, I know. But regulation has kept it from being able to be the agentic situation. Same thing with healthcare. I see the possibility that you're going to be able to do agentics for banks and healthcare. Those are the two largest verticals, and that you'll have them.
Well, Jim, we're doing that. We've talked about what we're doing with RBC and so many other banks as well. Some of them don't want us to talk about that quite yet.
Yeah, I know.
But we're talking now. Jim, you have to realize Agentforce is now over $100 million ARR product just 6 months after we introduced it. Our
It's pretty
data
good.
cloud and our Agentforce product together is more than $1 billion now in ARR. These are our fastest growing products that we've ever seen in the
Well,
history
don't you think that some of the
of the
upside surprise
company.
actually came from these? Because when I look at the other verticals, they're all good. But you had there's a big
Absolutely,
number in
Jim.
this.
Jim, more than 8,000 Agentforce customers. The 4,000 of those are already basically paying and fully involved. And some of those stories, Jims, we've been talking about, but they're still unfolding. So we look at Booking and what's happened with Glenn and how he's really rolled out Agentforce in this really smart way. First with the restaurants, then with the employees. Now he's talking directly to his consumers with the agentic platform. Plus, he has all of our clouds, right behind all of that. So whether he's doing sales or service or marketing, field service, even commerce, all of these things can basically be tied together and then delivered through this agentic platform.
Tell me how much more thorough and how much more accurate an agentic Salesforce is than I hate to say it because people are human, right? But how much better this is than humans?
Jim, I'll do that through a story. And Jim, I don't know. We've never talked about Flabella before, but
I mean, that's the largest department store in South America.
Okay, well, you already know, so I can't surprise you.
No,
but anyway, this is like the Nordstroms of Latin America. And we started with Agentforce with them in their Colombia operations. And they want to do it in a completely new way, all through WhatsApp. So we're like, yeah, we're going to do that. It's going to be great. We're willing to do whatever you need. And their major use case, Jim, is this: where is my order? So here you are, you're talking to the agent. You want to be able to get your order. It was such a success, Jim. They immediately completed the trial and said, we're going throughout all of Latin America. So now all of Falabella is on Agentforce, on Data Cloud, on our Sales Cloud, our Service Cloud, our Marketing Cloud.
Is it time to take a trip should we go to Bentonville? Is it time to go to Bentonville? Talk to Walmart?
Jim, Walmart is a huge customer.
I know, but I want them to do this. This is the biggest use case for Walmart in the world. It'd be amazing. Just like if you were an appliance
I hope I'm going to be
company.
seeing Doug actually tomorrow. But he's done a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, and by the way, not just that, they use it in their soft. Did you know that Walmart also makes enterprise software for retailers? And we have a great partnership with Walmart where they've taken our products and actually they deliver them to their customers in packaged enterprise software. It's an incredible all the things.
Let me ask you, there are people who are saying, look, the big gain here was currency. When I back out, it did go from a headwind to tailwind, but it still doesn't account for the entire bump in guidance that you get.
Jim, you're right. Currency is working in our favor. Bookings are working in our favor. Revenue is working in our favor. Everything is working in our favor. And sometimes when everything is going well for you, it's all good. And you know that sometimes everything is not going well. But right now, we are just going to have a great year. And Jim, how many software companies are delivering for you this year? $41.3 billion in revenue.
No, but
guidance.
I know that one ServiceNow says to me, look, we can come into that vertical of your friends, Benioff. ServiceNow has decided that they can be in your vertical, correct? You've seen them.
Jim, one of the most exciting things about Salesforce is our size and scale, and I think you know that we're about 5 times larger than them.
Fair enough. Okay, how about consumer sentiment? How are you feeling right now about both our country and also, a lot of people feel that you detect sometimes that there's a sense that maybe the nation is not as united and strong as you'd like it to be. Where are we as a country, as you see? Because you have a better barometer than everybody.
Jim, I really think the economy is going incredibly well. I see, things worldwide actually doing really well. Everywhere I go, I was in Japan last week, there's tariff anxiety. It doesn't matter what CEO you're talking to in what country. They just want to know what the rules are and how to play. And I think tariff anxiety comes from there's been so much change in the last few months that it doesn't matter where you are in the world, that these CEOs all have a little bit of tariff anxiety, and so they're just slightly adjusting. But let me give you an example of where that has not been as true, which is, and you know that Salesforce does business in sales, in the small business marketplace, in this medium, in commercial, in the mid-market, in the high enterprise. In these lower-end markets, in the small business market and the mid-market, those are double-digit growth markets for us in the quarter.
Yes.
So we saw really strong performance in the mid-market, and those are not as impacted by this. It's these
That's a very good point.
CEOs of these very large companies, who are like very hypersensitive to what is going on in the political situation. That is what's happening. That's not just true in our country. That is true in every country.
But I will say this. I will say this, Mark.
And mid-market.
I will say that of the when big companies make a choice when it comes to enterprise software, they're not holding back when it comes to buying your product. And they are in many others. So I'm going to congratulate you on an excellent quarter. Marc Benioff, founder,
Jim, thanks
chair.
So much. It's great to see you again. Hope to see you soon, Jim.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mark. Good to talk to you. Man Mike's back in for the break.
Coming up, the quarter all of Wall Street has its eye on. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang joins Cramer to discuss the earnings that move the tape like no other. Next. Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on X. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadMentions. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.